Hi, everyone. How you doing? It's Sean Connors with E-Team Sponsor. Pleasure to be joined today on our E-Team Sponsor podcast with former Arizona State and NFL quarterback, Mr. Jake Plummer. Jake, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you, Sean. It's a pleasure to be on. Thanks for having me join you guys today.
You got it, man. You got it. We love having love getting guests on right now, especially if we can talk about some positive things in the world. And let's start there, man. How are things going? I know you're in your basement today. You got some yard work ahead of you, but what's the latest and greatest in Jake Plummer's world?
It's been good to a degree. I mean, life goes on. You've got to deal with what the world throws at you and what the family and everything throws at you. So we actually have been homeschooling our kids for a couple of years, and I've been working from home. So this is not the biggest change in our regular daily, the way we function. The bad thing is just the social part, getting to see kids my kids getting to see their friends in person. On virtual it's okay, but you can't really get that feeling from virtual that you get when you actually see your buddies. So I've gone some hikes with some friends and, kept the distance and that kind of thing, but mainly just dove into trying to better myself as a person, to try to get creative, to see what I can do to make myself better, my family function better. And then, like I said, out in the yard, planting trees, planting some bushes for the bees and the butterflies, and beautifying where we live, just trying to take advantage of this time to not sit and dwell and worry about what could be and what are we going to be, what's the new normal, and do I know anybody that's going to get sick and all that. Instead, just try to be positive and, go about making a difference for yourself to be in a better position to face whatever the globe throws at us.
That's awesome, man. That's great. What are you doing? You mentioned some professional development that you're focused on. Anything that specific that you've been either listening to or reading about?
Yeah, mainly just I've been big on self-care. As a 45-year-old, just trying to make sure that my mind and spirit are in full function, whatever way that is, through yoga and exercise, meditation, diet, reading good positive books from all the religions, and mostly some Buddhism and some some different takes on how to just approach life's challenges, along with some good books, not all just nonfiction, a little bit of fiction here and there. And with the kids, trying to stay off of the tube, watching the TV, instead, finding pointed, very specific shows that kids can learn, and I can learn some new stuff. I feel this is a time for all of us to evolve and to challenge ourselves mentally and physically to be healthier in both mind and body, and hopefully the next pandemic won't be as treacherous, or it won't be as impactful if we're all healthier and can fight this off with good immunity and strong family and just those core values, trying to just stick to that. Other than that, man, just get out on my bike every once in a while. The pandemic's been crazy. The roads are clear. At about 8 o'clock, there's no traffic. So I get on my bike and I just go ride. And you got freedom to go wherever. You're not dodging cars and other people. It's like the world shuts down at 8 o'clock, and that's when I like to come out and have a little fun. So just trying to, like I said, just get through it. Remember that, every day, the only person that can really do much about that day, about making it happy or making it good, is yourself. So make sure that you're focused, and then, having kids, you got to stay positive and upbeat through all of this. That's what I'm really focusing on.
I love the positive perspective. Focus on what you can control and remain positive. That's awesome. Jake, you've started a company, Ready List Sports. I know that's been keeping you busy. How's Ready List Sports going?
It's coming along. We're getting a lot of traction, doing some online clinics where I speak about quarterback mindset and leadership, just share a little bit of my experience and my story, tie into that. Operation as a quarterback is paramount to your success. And even as a team, to have a team that knows what to do when they break the huddle, or knows what to do during practice, you can save a ton of time. We developed the Ready List Sports about 5 years ago. Through those 5 years, we've gone through a couple iterations, and now we feel we've got a pretty robust tool that's revolutionary in the field, as far as the ability to draw plays quickly for coaches to save time, the ability to push out playbooks on any screen that you have available to your kids, your players. And the great part about our product is those tests on the back, or those playbooks on the back end, are tests that are auto-formulated, auto-generated, and graded, so the kids know exactly what they're learning, what they're retaining. it's really made for remote learning, which is what we're living through right now. This, trying to figure out how to keep kids busy, occupied, and to keep, like I mentioned earlier, just progressing as humans and getting better. And with the amount of extra time you realize now with social isolation, you realize you spend a lot of time staying busy as humans, which is good, because when you're not busy, you got to have something to do. So we feel with this time, it's a great tool for coaches to keep their kids, one, busy, two, fresh with football, and three, whenever they do open that gate and take the chains off and football starts again, what's that transition going to be like if your kids have been left to their own devices to try to study a playbook or study plays or work themselves? We feel our tool could really help that and ease the stress that's going to be, obviously going to be there when you get back on the field and have a month to prepare now for your first game. When you're unprepared, you can get hurt. You can play less than 100% and possibly put yourself in harm's way. So we want to help these kids come out of this, and coaches come out of it prepared and ready to get back to sports, because sports is a big part of a lot of people's lives. And a lot of kids right now are missing the opportunity to play spring sports. Doesn't mean you can't go out and play ball now, kids. You still can go out and play outside, but you can't do it with a team. So we feel Ready with Sports is just something we want to let people know about. We're really affordable. We're trying to get into the market to help coaches coach better and players learn at a better rate.
Awesome, man. That's great. Well, one of the questions that I immediately think about is, how did you come up with it? Was it a kind of the necessity is the mother of invention, or was it just from the years that you spent in the game? Tell us, how did you come up with Ready with Sports?
Well, anyone coaching out there or knows, what's been the way to teach in years past, there really hasn't been many advancements with tech that can mesh together with football. You sit in a meeting room, you watch film, you get the install given to you by the coach, you look at the plays, you take notes, then you go into a walkthrough to get the action, the live action, the experience of the play. Then you go out to practice, and it's kind of like the test, or you go to the game and that's your test. All of that has been the same since when I was playing back in the 80s, 90s, and it hasn't really evolved. So what we did, and this is not my idea, it's Chad Freehoff, the CEO and creator of this, who played at Colorado School of Mines, was new player here. Kid could play ball. I met him in Denver with the Broncos in 2005. His travels took him through 9 teams in every professional league, every league you could imagine in 7 years. He struggled to learn that playbook, a big, thick playbook with the same stuff in it that was at every team he went to, but it had different terms, different nomenclature, different ways of teaching, different depths, and all that stuff on routes and protections. So he thought, there's got to be a better way to study. If I'm struggling, and I graduated at the School of Mines, he knew how to study. He has a photographic memory. If he's struggling with this playbook, then everybody is. So that's where it was birthed. That's where he got the concept for the Rosetta Stone, similar to that, where you can study and then test, and then study and test and study and test, and just up the retention rate utilizing multiple learning styles. So tactile learning can up your retention rates by 70% when you're actively involved with moving the guys around on the screens. And today, everybody has a screen. It's a screen age. So the concept was born out of that. We've come a long ways with hundreds of coaches, players of all levels giving us input and feedback. It's been fun. It's been a challenge to break that habit of coaches, because they like it how they like it. They like to sit there and draw the plays, or they like their method, and they're pretty much creatures of habit. But the kids are not. Kids don't use pencils anymore. They use screens. So we're providing them a learning tool that's like a playbook in your pocket. And so far, it's been really good. We've had a lot of great feedback. It's been tough with budgets being frozen across the NCAA right now. If not, I think we'd be signing up a lot of teams, but we got a lot of teams ready when that time comes to jump on it. And yeah, that's the Ready List. That's where it was originated and born. And now we're just trying to let about it, so they know that there's an option out there to streamline, make things more efficient, save coaches time, and maybe cut down a little bit on practice time, which is important for kids' health and longevity.
Sounds like a great resource. And I'm smiling because being a former quarterback myself, I would have loved to have had something like that. I had a hard time with retaining, and so having a tool that can help you with that, and like you said, in the screen age, wow, what an awesome concept, and great to hear things are picking up for you guys. That's awesome, man. Jake, tell us a little bit about just, obviously your journey from Idaho to Arizona State, but take us through, share your story a little bit with the listeners today, people that maybe aren't as familiar with you, and how you got to where you're at now.
Yeah, I was born and raised in Boise, Idaho, youngest in a family of 3 boys. So I have 2 older brothers. I had no choice but to be an athlete and into sports. I joke around if they'd have been girls, female sisters, I might have been into acting and dancing, but instead had a lot of balls thrown at me. So I learned how to dodge them or catch them and then throw them back. So yeah, I grew up just playing a lot of sports, watching sports, having big dreams and aspirations to be in the NFL, win a Super Bowl. I wanted to play in the NBA and in the Major League Baseball. I wanted to be a pro golfer. I wanted to be a pro at something. So I didn't put all my eggs in one basket at any age, even in, until probably I got to college. Then I kind of shut down. I still played a ton of hoops in college, and handball and golf and tennis and any other sport that was a break from the monotony of playing football, because playing football is fun, but practicing and trying to learn how to quarterback, it was redundant, so I had to break it up playing a lot of sports. So as I grew up, I'm a big proponent of play everything you possibly can. Doesn't mean you have to make the varsity to be able to play basketball. You still can go shoot hoops on your own. You still can get a ball in a wall and a buddy and play one wall handball, which is a great sport for agility, hand-eye coordination, spatial awareness. I was blessed and lucky that my dad played, and he introduced me to that growing up. So again, like I said, it was sports growing up, and it was fun to go from one season to the next. It was like, all right, football's over. Time for basketball. Yeah. And then when basketball's over, it's like, ooh, I get to play baseball now. Yes. Lovely. Lacrosse wasn't big in Boise at the time, or I probably would have played lacrosse or tried to do both at the same time, just because I loved to compete and to play. That was me. I was really a hyper competitive kid, obviously with 2 older brothers that wouldn't let me win very often. I wanted to win. So my leadership ability kind of came to about in the 5th grade, when I had taken the job of my best friend on the Optimus, our Pop Warner team. I took his job at quarterback, and he was upset, so he turned the guys against me. They picked me last one day, like the very last pick in the entire recess to play football. So the next day, I flipped the script on them, and I picked all the kids that would normally be last. I picked them first, and then I told those guys, let's go. We're going to take it to these guys. We ended up winning that game. I wish I had film, because I was out of my mind. But I knew right then that if it's not all about your skill set and how good you are and your 4-star rating and if you're the best and can throw every ball perfect, it's the ability to make those around you, buy into being confident about their abilities, or even just believe that they have a chance. Just the belief that it can happen, and that positive encouragement and thought can really do wonders. And that was when I first realized, like, okay, I could be a leader here. I got to be careful with that. But have at times, use it to our advantage as a team. So that was my journey, as far as just getting out of Idaho. I went to Arizona State. Bruce Snyder recruited me for playing football. Man, I got my education paid for. That was amazing for my parents. For me to get a chance to go to school and go to a D1 program was awesome. Again, my dream was to play in the NFL, win a Super Bowl, always. That was what was my dream, right? That drove me to work hard, but I was always buying into where I was at the moment. ASU was where it was about. I wanted to win a national title. That's why Bruce Snyder, that's what sold me on ASU, is Bruce saying I was a key component to that possibility. So I wanted to take him up, and almost did. Then I got a chance to play in the NFL, man. So now I'm right there close to my dream. And that almost happened in Denver in 05, but there's my experience as a player. It's not my career, because I'm not done yet doing a lot of other big things. So, my career will be done when I'm dead. They can talk about my career then. But for right now, that experience playing football set me up to do some amazing things, to have confidence in myself, to always be able to go back to guys that I could trust and lean on, teammates that I respect and love and care about. It's a really thing to be involved in sports and special teams, where you get a chance to have a few special seasons. And that's me in a nutshell, really, with now married with 3 kids that are all under 10 years old, 2 boys and a girl. And there I am. I'm in Colorado living a good life.
That's awesome, man. Is the youngest of the three, is that a boy or girl?
The girl, she's the
It's,
youngest. Yep.
so, and I have to imagine she's hyper competitive as well.
She races everywhere and looks at the cookie to get the biggest one already. You know, she's already in it, man. But it's good. You know, a lot of love, a lot of battles, but you know, all in all, I got a lovely wife who's very supportive of me, and yeah, man, just enjoying not having to play ball and raise kids. I'm happy to be able to be fully involved in that as much as I can and need to be to enjoy that process.
That's awesome, man. You talked about leadership. Talk to us about leadership, what it means to you, who have been the influential leaders in your life.
Yeah, I mean, for me, leadership, you know, coaches have really been the best leaders for me. I mean, my brothers were really the guys I looked up to, an example that was set that I wanted to try to emulate and be like. So they were really good people. They were competitive, treated their teammates right. But you know, coaches helped mold me into the leader that I was with just subtle reminders, or sometimes pulling me away and saying, "Hey, you know, you need to step it up." And I think leadership is, not everybody is meant to lead. But if you're on a team, I think everybody on that team has some bit of leadership in them, because you know, you look to somebody to be that tone setter, or that cornerstone, which usually is the quarterback. And so I knew right away that all eyes were on me, through the good and the bad, to see how I would react to a situation, and then that would be how it would trickle down and probably, you know, most likely make the team react. So I knew right away that being a leader and being able to motivate guys, and not call them out in a mean way, but to just put my thumb on them and say, "Hey, let's go, pick it up," but not to say it, but me pick it up. You know, in basketball, I can remember numerous times like, "Hey, we got to play harder." And who was the guy diving out of bounds into the bleachers? That was me. I was doing that, not because I was, you know, trying to get accolades and be the guy. It's just I knew one speed and one speed only, and that was 100%. And so leaders have to be like that, tone setters, that no matter what it is you're doing, like my daughter racing to get the biggest cookie, you know, or racing to get their shoes on the fastest. You know, if you're doing it 100%, then as a leader, you sometimes don't even know you're that person until you realize that everybody else is following along with you. And when you can get 20% of your team to do 100%, and then 50% of the team, and now all of a sudden you got 100% of the team going 100%, leadership becomes easy. Then it's just about, now it's actions. No more words needed. You just got to go out and make it happen. And that's when the real, you know, fun begins. That's when you fly freely and make special moments like, you know, so many I've had.
That's awesome.
In my career.
Jake, how is leadership a part of what you have started to build with Ready List Sports?
Well, you know, leadership, another aspect is, you know, following your heart, trusting your instincts, and, you know, being okay with sometimes, you know, making someone mad, or ruffling some feathers, or stepping outside of your comfort zones. This has definitely been an opportunity for me to experience that. A tech entrepreneur, I'm okay with tech, but you know, something happens with my phone or computer, I'm calling somebody. As an entrepreneur, I've never had a business, never started a business, didn't go to business school. So I'm relying a lot on my gut instincts, and trusting, you know, people around me to get, you know, information from, and guidance from, on how to take a company from ground zero that we have now built. And then also what goes along with leadership is the ability to never give up and never quit, you know, against all odds, to know and to trust and to transmit like positive energy towards success, right? I mean, as a quarterback, that's what, all eyes on me. So me and my partner are two quarterbacks that have done great things, big things as far as quarterbacking goes. So we have the ability to manage, and not just an offense or a huddle, but like an entire team and an entire locker room. And to, you know, play in the NFL, I knew right away, and was told this. I mean, the owner's number one, most important on an NFL team. The GM, usually depending, is about maybe number 2 or 3, along with the coach. Number 2 man on that totem pole is the quarterback. So, you know, a GM will get fired, a head coach will get fired, but a quarterback will stay on a team. So the importance of that is that you know what you're doing. You got to trust that I've been at a high level. I've been one of the best in the entire world at what I did. So this business is just another chance to go through that process. Yeah, fail, get up, try again. Fail, get up, try again. Keep going. have a vision and trust the vision. I like to say to dream, believe, and achieve, because anything you can dream, and you can believe in, and you put forth the effort, you will achieve. And I believe that that's what I'm doing with this business is, yeah, we're working through all the hurdles and the road blocks and trying to break into an industry that's pretty habitual and they like the way they do things. But the young generation coming up has a knowledge and the thirst to learn more. So we know we're on the right track. It's just like managing that, finding that flow, getting in the current, making sure the guys around me and pulling in people that can help and encouraging them. Just the same thing as you would do on a 2-minute drive to go win it. You know, you got to trust that you're going to do it. You got to manage your timeouts. You got to keep the guys going, and you got to, you know, have the ability to go pull it off. And as quarterbacks, we know we're going to be successful. So I've really leaned on that through this process of being a tech entrepreneur, and know that what I set my mind to in the past, I've always been able to make it happen. So no doubt this is going to be something that will become a success the more I just believe in it.
I like the quarterback analogies to life and to entrepreneurship. That's just it's very symbiotic, and I love how you've drawn the correlation there. Looking, Jake, at you know what you guys are doing with Readyless Sports, give you a chance to maybe dive in a little bit more technically speaking for our listeners that are out there, high school and college football coaches that are out there, athletic directors at small colleges as well. Talk to us a little bit specifically about what is Readyless Sports doing for student athletes and coaches.
Yeah, you know, what we're trying to do is give everybody an even ground to learn with. You know, not everybody learns the same. You know, there's a lot of different learning styles: auditory, visual, tactile, even learning. So we're trying to tap into all of that, so that, you know, a kid that may struggle in one form of learning can excel in another and not get left behind, and can actually like excel, and if he has a dream like I had, can go and give himself the best chance to achieve that dream. Coaches, it's a chance for some coaches to really actually up their knowledge level and make sure that the head coach and the offensive coordinator and everybody else is on the same page. Coaches can study book, take tests. If you're a coach, you better get 100%. I don't care if you're the second backup tight end coach. If you're an assistant tight end coach, you better get 100% on the entire offense. Because I, as a quarterback, might ask you a question that if you don't know, then you're not doing your job as a coach. That's a lot to do. Takes a lot of study time. As you said, you were a quarterback. I went to bed all the time wishing I had another hour to study. But I knew I had to get up early to go study and watch more film. So I'm trying to make this more efficient, to slim down that process, to give kids the tool that they can learn and learn efficiently. And it isn't just for 11 on 11. We're developing 12 on 12, and we're down all the way to 4 on 4. We have preloaded playbook. So if you're a new coach or a coach that has never built a playbook, there's formations already on, there's routes, there's combos, there's everything you would need to build your playbook. And it's seamless, it's intuitive. It's as easy as moving the cursor to draw a route. The old modalities that are still out there and still being used, I can tell you this right now, the time it would take them to draw one play, we will draw close 15 to 20 plays.
Wow.
That's how fast our drawing tool is. And if you talk about, you know, saving time, we're saving you days, not just hours. And those days can be used to do a lot of other different things, you know, maybe raise the funds to pay for a program like this, or to talk to your kids and teach them more about the game, or teach them life skills about how to treat people right, how to not just be an athlete and a sports guy, but understand that when sports are gone, what are you? Who are you? How do you treat people? You know, there's so much to learn. And if football takes up all that time, that's a sad thing. So we created a tool to just streamline that, make it more efficient, and help these guys teach and players learn.
That's awesome, man. That sounds great. Well, Jake, what is the resource? Where can people go? ReadyLessSports.com?
That's the best way to go. You know, I could talk all day about it. It really, when you see a demo, if you want to sign up, you can sign up online for a demo. We'll give you a demo. We want to make this process seamless. I know right now is a crazy time with budgets and even with funds, but I know also that there's parents out there paying a lot for QB gurus to teach their kids how to take a proper 5-step drop or something, or like whatever they're teaching them. We are nowhere near the cost of a guru, but we will give your kid a tool to really learn the game, to up their knowledge level, so that it won't be lack of understanding protections and defenses and fronts and progressions and check downs and run game. It won't be a lack of that doesn't allow your kid to excel and go chase his dream. We want to help provide that tool to give them as much knowledge as we can, raise the level of the game. You know, the Peyton Manning effect has happened, right? Peyton knew the game like the back of his hand. It has trickled down into like 12-year-old kids having to go through a lot during one play. Well, they're still coaching the same that they have for years. Now, if you don't have a good coach or you're not Peyton Manning up here, you're going to struggle, and football won't be fun. We want to make the game fun. We want to give these kids a chance to excel. If you want to learn the game at a higher level, check out readyliftsports.com. It'll give you, as a coach, the opportunity to learn it yourself and then to teach your kids the game. If they're hungry for it, they're going to go get it somewhere. Why not provide it exactly how you want it and then get those test results back? Now we don't have to practice those 50 plays because our entire team got 100% on them. We're going to focus on these 10 plays and these 10 concepts that they're struggling with. We're going to cut our practice times down from 2 hours down to an hour and 30 minutes. That's 30 extra minutes you're saving these kids to go home and study, go home and be with their family, go see their girlfriends, have a life outside of football, because we all know they're starting at a younger age. Yeah. And, you know, burn real. And if you're doing just one thing, you know, let's help them do it right. Let's help them excel as best they can. And that's really what we're setting out to do.
Sounds like a tremendous resource. The concept to execution component of it. As a former student athlete and coach, this sounds like a great resource that I think a lot of coaches need to definitely look into. So, Jake, thanks for sharing that. Kind of coming down the home stretch here and talking about, you know, the word you hear a lot right now is uncertainty, and there's a lot going on in the world. But I love your perspective. Just talking to you today, you're radiating positive energy, and I know that's a big part of who you are and the way you want to lead and live your life. For the coaches and athletic directors that have the power of influence with student athletes and coaches on their campus, do you have a message of empowerment or a message of positivity that you could share with our listeners today?
Yeah, you know, I through the readings and doing some stuff and doing my speaking on leadership and QB mindset. I say QB, but it really goes with just anybody and wanting to be an influential person and instill positivity and change and striving towards being better and as humans. You know, the more love you give out, the more love you get back. As a quarterback, you know, I gave a lot of love to all my teammates, every position on both sides of the ball and special teams. So in times of need, when you need it back, I've had a lot of that. Even today, I have people checking on me to make sure I'm all right. They might hear something like, "Hey, are you okay?" You know, that's something that you don't think about when you're a young high school kid, but when you get older, you really are thankful if you have it. And the real thing to do, I believe, and what I try to coach and teach these kids that are trying to excel in any sport, and especially at quarterback, is really just to be a transmitter of positivity and good thought. It's so easy in this world to get caught up in fear and in dividing lines that you got to choose one side or the other. But to try to just be positive, to try to live every moment in the fullest that you can. It takes a lot of discipline, but that's okay. If you're in the sports and you're an athlete, you have discipline. It takes perseverance too, but you should have perseverance if we're talking the characteristics of sports, to take your mind and make it better and to make it run better. There's no fuel we can give it. You know, you can eat better, you can think better and think more positive thoughts. That's what I feel the best fuel for your brain is. And once you do that, I think, you know, that which is like itself unto itself is drawn. If you're transmitting positivity and you are in the moment and what you're doing now, you're not worrying about your college scholarship or your huddle tape getting seen by coaches, but you're kicking ass in the moment you're in. That's when everything that matters most will happen for you in that moment. Don't get too caught up in the future. It's yet to happen. Don't get caught up in the past. There's nothing you can do about that. Just live every moment to the fullest. And I'm realizing that more as a 45-year-old. I figure I'm halfway. If I can be 90, I'm halfway through my life. So this has been a great moment for me to just reflect back on the qualities that got me to here and the qualities that helped me excel and do great, great things. I'm trying to instill them and put them back into my own life. into myself first, and then they obviously will affect those around me and the ones I love the most. But as young kids, try to have fun, break away from the seriousness of this game that we can put on the impetus to win and to succeed and excel and to be the best and set this time and have the best vertical jump. And sometimes just step away and go out and play in a creek and go sit down and just enjoy nature and let your brain go free from all those expectations. Be in the moment. That's, I could go on and on about this, man, but that's just really how I feel these days with young kids myself, trying to help them understand that, you have to plan for the future, obviously, but the best way to do that is to just be healthy and happy in the moment you're in now. When you do that, the plans for the future will come into your head and happen seamlessly.
That's awesome, man. Love hearing you share the power of positivity, your experiences, your wisdom. We appreciate you coming on the show today, Jake. I can't wait to get you back on here again, and all the best with Ready List Sports.
Hey, Sean, thank you. We appreciate the opportunity, and anytime, man, hit me up. I love talking whatever topic you got. Like I said, my brain can encapsulate a lot. Even if I don't know about it, I'll think about it and maybe come up with something.
We're gonna come back on. We'll get you on our chalk talk too. We'll get you on. We'll talk a little X's. We can talk X's and O's. We can talk leadership theory. We just opened the can a little bit today.
Big time. Well, hey, thank you, everyone out there. Be safe, be happy, be
awesome,
healthy, sane, and we'll all pull through this together.
Absolutely. Great message from Jake Plummer. Jake, thank you again.
Thank you, Sean.
All right.